गंगा शंकाश कावेरी श्रीरंगेश मनोहरी कल्याणकारी कलुषारी नमस्तेस्तु सुधा
Madhyoli Charanam Jainandalala. So are we all ready to go to the temple today? Let's all go to Srirangam together. So this journey is all about the Ranganathaswamy and Srirangam, the beautiful, mesmerizing. Just before this session began, I was just closing my eyes and visualizing him. It is his grace that when I close my eyes, he just comes there. It is his grace. Otherwise, to even get him there in our mind when we want is not easy. It is his grace. He's been very kind to me today. Okay, she's going to talk about me today. I will come. So when I close my eyes, I see him. And that is only his grace. Today, this session is all about this beautiful Lord Ranganatha. Now we'll start from the beginning. Like you know, Amma always likes to start from the root, when it all began. When did all this start? When you ask, especially with this particular temple, we'll start from the main, the murti, the main murti in the temple, that beautiful Lord in his Ananda Shayanam on the five-hooded snake. That is the main thing that we want to focus on. The very beginning, before the starting of creation, is where this story begins. The very beginning, even before the creation started. And who's the creator? Lord Brahma. So we are going way back. So Brahma knows he has to create, but he doesn't know where to begin. So he sits and does a penance. He sits and meditates on Om Tat Sat. What is Om Tat Sat? We know what Om is. There are so many. Om is everything, right? That sound is everything. Everything combined is that sound. It's so powerful. The whole universe combined into a single sound, and that is Om. All the Vedas dissolve into Goddess Gayatri, and Gayatri dissolves into Om. So that Om is a very powerful sound, word, letter. Now, Om is a vital source. Tat is all existence. Sat is God, is the breath of all life force itself. Om Tat Sat. And this, all Vedas start with this Om. That's why every ritual, everything starts with that word Om. Right? Om, Ganana, Amtva, anything. That first Ganapati mantra starts with the Om. So the Lord Vishnu, so Lord Brahma is meditating on Om Tat Sat. This is even before creation started. Lord Vishnu responds. He responds and he comes and he gives him the 4 Vedas. He gives him the 4 Vedas. He hands Lord Brahma the four Vedas to help him to create. That will help him to begin the job of creation. Now, knowing the importance of the four Vedas. Now, four Vedas is not just four Vedas, it is everything. So, knowing the importance of the four Vedas, the Asura named Madhu and Kaidapa, they emerge out of Brahma's ears and they steal it. They steal the four Vedas and disappear into the ocean. They hide it under the ocean, into the deep ocean. And now Lord Brahma is looking everywhere for the Vedas that have gone, they've disappeared, and he doesn't know where it is. So again, he seeks Lord Vishnu's help. He meditates on Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu responds, and he comes in the Hayagriva form. Hayagriva form is the horse face. It's one of the avatarams of Lord Vishnu. He comes in the horse face and he says, I will take care of this. I will retrieve it for you. And he goes under the ocean, retrieves the Vedas and kills the Asuras and brings the Vedas back and hands it over to Lord Brahma. So the creation can begin again. Everything is back to normal. Now, what is the symbolic thing about this story? What does it mean? What does the story represent? It is the triumph of pure knowledge. Vedas are the pure knowledge. It is the triumph of pure knowledge guided by God over the negative. The Asura is negative, right? The negative forces of passion and darkness. So everything has a meaning. So this is what this symbolically means, that the Vedas are the answers for all the darkness, for all the negatives. If you want to get rid of all that, Vedas are your answer, because it is given by God himself. The pure knowledge given to us by God. So that is the answer. That is what it is. That is what it means. So what is this avataram of Vishnu? Hayagriva is actually very important. We have to understand this avataram. This avataram was what the Lord used to get back that pure knowledge, to retrieve it, to save it for us, for all mankind. Correct? So I think Sri Amma has also talked about this avataram, and she has said that how important it is to keep a seahorse. Seahorse is nothing but the form of Vishnu in that form, Hayagriva form, horse face. Seahorse is very important animal. So she said, keeping a seahorse in the house, especially when you have kids who are studying, especially in school or college, who wants to do very good in studies, very academically, very focused, the seahorse is a good thing to keep at home, is what she said. Do you see the connection now? Knowledge, seahorse, right? So this is why Ambal asked to keep a seahorse. And she said this in one of the meetings, but well, now I understand. When we read a lot, then we understand why she mentioned seahorse for studies. It's a deeper meaning. It's wonderful. So, well, that is an information I gave you. So if you want, you can have a seahorse in the house and put it on the wall of your kid in their room, is what Ambal said. So that's the beautiful avataram of Lord Vishnu in the horse form with a beautiful face. Even in that form, he looks beautiful. He's wearing all his jewelry. He's not let go of any of his jewelry. Beautiful jewelry. Even the horse, if you get a chance, go and Google it and look at his pictures of the Hayagriva form. As always, mesmerizing, charming. Now, the Vedas are retrieved and Lord Brahma is started to create. The first thing he creates is the laws of karma. He creates the laws of karma. Now, we all know what laws of karma is. What you do is what you get. Simple. What you give is what you get. It's a circle. What you sow is what you reap. Right? So that is what he created first. Now he knows. Now, if he has created the laws of karma, then it goes to him also, right? He has to also pay attention to it. Right? It holds good for him too. So he wanted to seek advice from Lord Vishnu about this. So he meditated on Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu appeared as a turtle. That is the Kurma avatar. He appeared as a turtle. Now, Lord Brahma is thinking, whenever I call out to Lord Vishnu, he doesn't show his actual form. I want to see him in his actual form. And what is that form? In his resting, relaxing, the beautiful form that he has heard of, but he has not seen. The Pal Kadal, lying on that beautiful serpent, Adisesha, in Yoga Nidra. Mahalakshmi in his foot, massaging. That is a beauty. He wanted to see the Lord in that form. But every time he calls out the Lord Vishnu, he comes in Hayagriva form, he comes in Kurma form, doesn't seem to come in that form. So he tells the Lord, he says, Lord Brahma is telling, I want to see you in your actual form. When will I get to see that? He's, showing his desire. He's telling him his desire. But then Lord Vishnu says, yes, you will be able to see it. And he asked him to chant a mantram. Om Namo Narayana. You chant this, you will get to see it, he says. Ashtakshara mantram. It's got the 8 letters. So Brahma started. He chanted that for thousands of years. It's so easy to ask, I want something. But to get it, I've always told you, nothing is easy. You have to work for it. And Lord Brahma had to work for it. So he chanted that mantram for so many years. What does it mean? I bow to Lord Narayana is what it means. I bow to Lord Narayana. I surrender to Lord Narayana. Is what Om Namo Narayana. Well, it also means, the word Nara means human being. Or there's another meaning, also means water. Excuse me. Ayana means resting place, relaxing place, or the ultimate goal. Narayana. So the ultimate goal for all mankind is Vaikundam, and that is the resting place of the Lord, the beautiful Lord Narayana. That is what all the rishis and munis and every learned, literate person spiritually has in mind, that Vaikundam is the last ultimate goal. Isn't that what Ramanujacharya also taught? And that is one of his principles, that Vaikundam is the last place to go. He had a place, and that is Vaikundam. Now, we have seen Lord Narayana resting on that ocean, right? And that is what this Om Namo Narayana, he's got everything combined. The meaning is so powerful, so many meanings, yet it's just 8 letters. So many vast meanings, so powerful. This slogam is all you need. You don't have to go read all the Vedas and get all confused. This, and of course, Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayana, is enough. It is the mantram of peace. It can remove anger, it can remove ignorance, it can remove ego, it can remove all the desires. I think it's the mantram for the Kali Yugam right now. For all of us, it removes all the negatives, all the emotions, all that distractions, and it generates harmony. Isn't that what we need? Simple mantra he gave Lord Brahma. Simple. Chant this, you'll get to see me. How easy is that? Not so easy. Lord Brahma had to chant it for years and years and years. He did a severe penance chanting Om Namo Narayana. At last, Lord Vishnu shows up in his Ranga Vimana. That beautiful Ranga Vimana. Who all have gone to Srirangam will know this. It's a special chariot. It was carried by the Veda Murtis on 4 sides. On their head, Nagaraja, the king of snakes, holding a white umbrella. Now this is the scene Lord Brahma's got in front of his eyes. He's seeing this view. It's like a big television show in front of him. Lord Vishnu is showing him. This white umbrella carried by Lord Nagaraja. Vishwaksena, the commander-in-chief of army, is holding a cane and a chamaram. Chamaram is the fan for the Lord. Vishwaksena has got that, and Narada, of course, with his instrument playing and singing the Lord's praises on the side. Mridangam, Nadaswaram, all these instruments on the side, and it was the joyous, the most mesmerizing, enchanting view that Lord Brahma has seen. And of course, to come to the Lord He is lying. All these devas are around him with hands folded. And the enchanting Lord is beautifully lying in his Ananda Chayanam, lying down on the beautiful snake, Adisesha. The whole scene is, oh my God. How lucky Lord Brahma is. How lucky he is. I think he got it because he deserved it. Of all those years of penance, you get to see the beautiful Lord. Lord Brahma got in a trance when he saw this beautiful scene unfolding in front of him. He was in folded arms, like that, totally mesmerized. He could not take his eyes off of the beautiful Lord. He quickly went and did pradakshanam around the Vimanam and the Lord in the center. And he came in front with his eyes closed, his hands folded, requested Lord Narayana, please, my Lord, I want to pray to you only in this form. I don't want anything else. I want you to be only in this form. Lord Vishnu agreed. He said, okay. And he gave him that whole thing, became an idol. And he said, you can keep it in your Brahmaloka and pray to it. Lord Brahma was very happy. After all, this is the actual state of Lord Narayana. And he got to have it. After years and years of penance, he got this. It's priceless. So he was very happy. Now, the laws, he's free from all the laws of karma and he's liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Because that form is so powerful, it gives you salvation. The immediate thing that you get is salvation the minute you see it. That is the power of that idol. And that was in Satya Lokam, Brahma Lokam. Now the news will spread, right? Once liberation, once karmas all, it can dissolve karmas, it'll spread. The news will spread. Because everybody wants the easy route out. Now Lord Vishnu also said that the person to do the puja every day for this idol will be Lord Surya. So he got the higher power to do puja every day. Nobody else did. He got that position. So Lord Surya would come every day and do puja for the idol. Now soon, of course, the news spread that Lord Surya is doing, and then Lord Surya's son, Manu, was interested in the idol. Then Lord Brahma said, only after penance, you can come and see the idol in Brahmaloka. Manu did not let go. He said, I will do the penance. And he did severe penance for many years. And then he got to come to Brahmalokam to see the idol. Now the same with Manu's son, Ikshvaku. He's also a king of the same dynasty, Surya Vansh. So he's a king of Ayodhya at that time. And he also got to know about this idol in Brahmaloka. And he inquired about it to sage Vasishta, who was the sage of the kingdom. And sage Vasishta said, you do a penance and you'll get your answers. Nothing is easy, no? For us, we want everything as soon as we want. Like, I want a job. I want to get married. I want to, whatever. Should be like that. Nothing is easy. Nothing comes easy. If you really want it, you have to do penance for it, whatever it takes. For this, it required penance. For everything, for that matter, penance is required. And why penance? To make us ready for it. We have to be deserving. We have to be ready. We have to be deserving. And the God will come with open arms and give it to us whether we want it or not later. It will be just given without even asking. So he did his penance, severe penance, Ikshvaku. Everybody was tense too, all the devas, and as usual, Lord Indra was very tense. Usually when someone does severe penance, Lord Indra gets tense. Oh my God, is someone going to take over heaven? Is someone going to take over the Swarga Loka? Indra Loka, right? So Indra got tense. He immediately gets jittery, you know. He tried to go and cause commotion and hindrance in his penance, but nothing worked. He succeeded. So when things, what we learn from this is, when you do something good, there are people to come and cause problems. There will be a section, a group to come and say something against the good thing that is happening, finding faults. It's natural. But you keep going. If it is for a good cause, we keep going on. And the Lord will make sure that it succeeds. That is what this beautiful incident says. Now, Lord Indra is not that, he's very powerful. He could easily cause hindrance to anybody's penance because there was a higher power wanting this to succeed, wanting the king's penance to succeed. Lord Indra couldn't touch anything. The Lord Indra couldn't move anything around and cause any problems there, right? So that we need to always keep in mind. Now, Lord Brahma went to Lord Narayana and told him, see, King Ikshvaku is doing so much penance. So Lord Narayana says, I know. With that beautiful smile, he says, I know. I will go and see him. Lord Narayana is not so easy to please. We all know that. But he knows everything. He knows everything. No, it's not unlike Lord Shiva, right? Lord Shiva, you don't have to wait for so long. He would have come by now. But Lord Narayana takes his time. When he gives a lot too. But time, patience, calm. He wrings all the negatives out of you. After that only he'll come. It's a long wait. but it's worth it. It's worth it. To see that beautiful Narayana, anything is worth it, right? So Lord Narayana shows up. King Ikshvaku is so happy, so blessed. He feels, and he says, as you wished, you can have the idol. You can take it from Brahmalokam, and you can have it in Ayodhya. You can pray to it. See, understand, it's descendants of Lord Surya. Lord Surya was the first one to perform puja to the idol. And his descendants are performing puja to the idol. So he gave it to King Ikshvaku, which was supposed to happen. That's why I said, when things are already set this way, nobody can create a hindrance to it. So he was already destined to get the idol. So Lord Narayana says, I will stay in Ayodhya until King Rama's Pattabhishekam. After that, I will leave Ayodhya and I will go and settle in the banks of the river Kaveri. And I will be there until the end of Kali Yugam, he says. Wow. So that is the Srirangam. He is in the banks of Kaveri. Well, that being said, King Ikshvaku takes the idol, keeps it there. And just like Lord Narayana had mentioned, Lord Rama came back, Pattabhishekam happened, and then so much happiness for Vibhishana. Vibhishana is Ravana's brother, who helped him, who stood by him the whole time. During the war, during everything, he was with Lord Rama. He believed he is the Lord Narayana, avataram of Lord Narayana, and stood by him all the time. And to appreciate all that help and whatever he rendered during the tough times of Lord Rama wanted to gift him the very idol that he had in his kingdom of Srirangam. So he gave him that in his hand, and he said, my friend, this is for you. You take him to Lanka, it is all yours. Vibhishana was so happy. Who wouldn't be? It's the priceless idol, right? So there he goes on his journey. Now we'll rewind a bit to understand how Kaveri happened, because it's all comes together. So when all this is happening, when King Ikshvaku got the idol in that time, somewhere in Himalayas, Ganga, Kaveri, Saraswati, Yamuna, all these rivers are bouncing and having a lot of fun, playing around, you know. It's the Sangamam. It's the place where all of them meet and they're playing, you know, the rivers. And the common man comes on the banks somewhere far away and he says a prayer because he knows all these rivers are meeting here, and he says a prayer. He doesn't mention who he's saying the prayer to, but he mentions all the rivers in his mind, and so he says a prayer to all the rivers, and then he leaves. So all these rivers look at him. Ganga, Kaveri, Saraswati, Yamuna, all of them look at him. They're like, he says a prayer for me. Oh, that is definitely for me. All of them. So that's enough, right? All of them start arguing. No, this is for me. This is for me. No, he prayed to me. He prayed to me. He prayed to me. So Ganga says, listen, I'm the most powerful. I'm the most sacred. He probably gave his prayers to me. He offered his prayers to me. So, well, then Yamuna and Saraswati stopped. They're like, okay, fine. We're not in this. Probably he gave his prayers to you. It's okay. I don't care. It's fine. And they let go. Letting go is a good thing. They let go. But Kaveri did not let go. Kaveri is like, no. He gave his prayers to me. And that is for sure. So they said, okay, we'll go to Lord Vishnu and we will settle this between us. He will find a solution. He will tell us who that prayer was for. They go to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu patiently listens to whatever they were saying. The problem. They said, see, he offered the prayers and I feel it is for me, Ganga said. Kaveri says, I thought it was for me. So Ganga says, see, I came out of the Lord Shiva's locks of hair. And for that reason, I'm definitely more sacred than her, right? She said. So Lord Vishnu smiles and he says, that is there. You definitely have that image, that greatness, that pedestal. You got. Yes, I agree. So Kaveri is now feeling bad. Now, Lord Vishnu himself has said, yeah, she got a pedestal. She got that status, Now, what did I have? I have nothing. So she says, I also need something, some identity. So Lord Vishnu says, everything is earned, isn't it? So you earned for it, you will get it, he said. So Kaveri takes up that word. She has to earn for it, right? So she does a severe penance. And Lord Vishnu is pleased. Again, when I say severe penance, it's not a normal small penance. You cannot please Lord Vishnu very easily. Same thing. It is years and years, thousands of years of penance, after which Lord Vishnu shows up and tells her, what do you want? Ask me. I'll give you whatever you want. So Kaveri wanted the same status as River Ganga, correct? Now it was not about status or anything, because once you do penance, once you do years and years and years of penance, when the Lord himself comes and asks you, what do you want? You are a different person now. You are a different person. You're not the same person thousands of years back. That penance did so much wonders already. So when the Lord comes in front of her and asks her, what do you want? She says that she wants him to reside or sleep on the banks of her river. she wanted him to settle down there so that she can always see him. Do you see? It was not about the status anymore. It was not about being equivalent to Ganga anymore. It was having the Lord beside her. That is what penance does to you. She didn't care now. She said, Lord, I want you in my banks so that I can see you all the time. Now the Lord Vishnu is more, like I said, when he comes, he gives more. Right? So he says, he agreed. He said, so be it. And he told her that she would flow like a garland on the Lord's chest. How beautiful. That he himself said that. He said, you will flow like a garland on my chest. And she was very happy. She said, okay. Now that particular thing, how Kaveri happened, has Lord Shiva and Lord Ganesha who helped in making this boon put in action. Lord Shiva gave the Kamandalu with Kaveri in it to Agastya Rishi. Now we will go in detail on that topic when we do Agastya session. But briefly I will tell you. Lord Shiva gave the Kamandalu to Agastya Muni, who walked all the way down. And there was this particular place where Sage Agastya did not know that this was the place that Kaveri was supposed to flow from, which Ganesha knows. All the devas went to Lord Ganesha for help. Said, please, you have to do something about this. And Ganesha says, I got it. And again he went and he went as a crow and he toppled the Kamandalu. Kamandalu is that thing that rishis carry, that thing, a can, small container. He just toppled it. And there, Tale Kaveri, that is the beginning of Kaveri. And that is where it starts. And it flowed like, and Rishi was very angry. That is a different thing. And that's how Kaveri happened. So he did that part. Now let's go back to the Pattabhishekam and Vibhishana getting the idol. How did the idol come there? Now we saw how Kaveri happened. We'll see how the idol came there. Vibhishana again. All the devas were tensed because this idol is not supposed to go to Lanka. Is according to them, they don't want this idol going to Lanka. So who did they seek for help again? Our great problem solver, Lord Ganesha. He's definitely a Sankata Vimochana Ganapati only. They all ran to him. They said, please do something. The Lord has to be in this particular place. He cannot go. So Lord Ganesha knows. He knows about the boon that King Ikshvaku got. He knows all the way the Kaveri happened for this. Kaveri happened waiting for the Lord to come in, as the boon said, so that she can flow as a garland on. So Lord Ganesha goes there in disguise as a small boy, and Vibhishana couldn't resist the Kaveri. When he saw, he was in the banks of the river and he couldn't resist the beautiful Kaveri, the chill waters flowing. He's having this, and the best part was Lord Rama said not to put the idol on the floor, on the ground. If he did, it will settle down, grow in 6, 8 proportions. It'll grow so big that you cannot even imagine shifting it from thereafter, is what Lord Rama told him. So he's holding the idol like this and he's looking here and there because he can't obviously place it on the ground. But he wants to dip in that river. He's got this desire. I want to go take a dip in this river and I have this idol, I can't. There, our problem solver comes, disguised as a little boy. Lord Ganesha is there. And he knows he's the one who gave him the desire to dip in the river. So he comes and he's like, not knowing that, as if not knowing, he just passes by and Vibhishana calls out to him. A little boy, can you please help me? Can you hold this idol till I just take a quick dip and come? I'll just give my prayers to the Suryan and come, he says. He says, okay, I can hold the idol. But not for too long. I need to go too, he says, always in a hurry. So I can't hold it for too long. I also need to get home. So Vibhishana says, I will be back soon. I promise. Just don't put it on the ground, he says. So the boy says, yeah, I'll try. If you're too late, I will put it on the ground. No, don't do that. I will come back soon. And he says, okay. And he goes to dip in the river. As he was dipping, he's like in a trance. All this is done by God only, right? The whole desire and switching off the mind, forgetting about the idol, everything is done by Lord Ganesha. And here he's put the idol on the ground. And he screams, I have to leave. I'm leaving the idol here. And Vibhishana runs from the river out, but too late. The idol is on the ground, fixed, grew in immeasurable height. To his astonishment, it's huge that he can't even lift it anymore. He gets so angry, he chases the boy. He chases the boy all the way to the top of the hill. And he gives him a knock on the head. He gives him one knock. He's so angry, he gives him a knock. And that's when Pullayar shows his actual form. And Vibhishana is like, feels terrible. He feels terrible. He knocked the sun, the biggest power, the only power in the whole world, Lord Ganesha, Lord Shiva's son. He falls at his feet and asks for forgiveness. But that knock has given a little dent in his head. It is still there. The Rock Fort Hill, they say, has the Uchi Pullayar. It is there in Trichy. When you go to Srirangam, this Pullayar, Uchi Pullayar is also there. You have to climb a set of steps to go see him. Beautiful temple. And yes, if you ask them, they will show the dent in his head. And as the bone, everything happened. Kaveri happened. The Lord settled there for her. Just as he promised, he came there and settled there for us. Just like he said, he will be there till the end of Kali Yuga, on the banks of the river Kaveri. He kept his word, didn't he? And all these beautiful Lord Ganesha, Lord Shiva, all of them made all this happened. And even for Tiruvanekkaval, Kaveri is a very important aspect. So Kaveri just didn't happen for Srirangam. Kaveri happened for all the temples in the banks there. It's like when you read the Itihas, the Puranas, Kaveri is, we can say, even more powerful than Ganga to an extent. She has so many temples in her banks. So many. Countless. So all her penance pays, huh? All those penance pays. So I'm going to share an incident. Of course, we're going to continue with Srirangam next session also, but I thought I'll stop here. But I want to share an incident with Ambal today with all of you. It's a very beautiful experience I had, a very touching experience I had with Ambal in 2017. That was her last visit to the US. And then I met her in 2017 December for the Poonal. We had Dev's Poonal, Upanayanam for Dev, and that happened. So before she came to the US, which was after Navaratri, somewhere around September, October time, to New Jersey, we called her, of course, and she asked for me. And when I was on the phone, she was in California at that time, and I was on the phone, she said, you make whatever you want. I love cooking. She knows that. So she said, you make whatever you want. I'm coming to eat whatever you cook for me, she said. And it came out of randomly, you know, and I felt very pleased because I always love cooking for her. So when she said that on her own, she said, நீ என்ன வேணாலும் எனக்கு சமைச்சு போடு, நான் என்ன வேணாலும் நீ சமைச்சு போடுறத சாப்பிட்றேன். Exact words. Whatever you want, you cook for me, and I will eat whatever you cook for me. And that is so beautiful. It's very touching. And of course, she came and she stuck by her word. Usually when I go and ask her in the morning, I tell her, Amma, I'm planning to make this, and she will change. She'll change, இன்னைக்கு கூட்டு வேண்டாம், today no need கூட்டு, today you make this, that. Some things she'll make changes to. And the changes are always to make things easier for me, not to elaborate things. It's always to make things easier for me. Her changes. Just saying. But this time, when I go and tell her the menu, she did not make any changes to it. She did not make any changes. I was wondering maybe why. I was feeling like I'm doing something wrong because all these years, every time she visited me, she's made changes. This time, she's not making any changes. So I thought maybe I'm doing something wrong. And I even asked her, Amma, usually you make some changes. Is it okay? Like you're liking these items or you're just saying? Then she said, I told you that you can make whatever you want and I will eat whatever you make. So I'm not going to make any changes. This is what you want to give me. You give me that. I will eat it. I was so touched. And of course, I had made all these very innovative things, you know, made a butternut squash paratha and all those very different variety things I made for her. And she did not say anything. She actually gave me compliments. She used to love it and she used to say, Nanna irukku, and eat it. And that last visit I can never forget. And when I went to India, that is after 2 months, we had Dev's Poonal. So we got to see her again that year, which she told us to have. She said, keep it Poonal in December, which gave us very short time to plan for it. She, with her grace, everything happened. That's a different thing. When I went for the Poonal, we always, every trip to India, we have a cook in the house because food is a very big aspect for my family. They like to enjoy that Indian food, that Kalyana Chapad, in another word. So we always have a cook who cooks a beautiful meal, like breakfast, lunch, dinner for us. So we request Ambal that we will pack food for her every day and send her hot meals from our house. So whatever that is cooked in the house, first we'll go to Ambal and then we will eat. So this is the way it has been done for a long time, actually. Same thing we repeated this year 2017 also. We had a cook, but we didn't get the usual person always who used to come. We got a new person. So, but we needed somebody, so we got someone and she started cooking everything. One day I had to go out to some shopping and everything. I come home and I smell this burnt smell, as if something got burnt. And I walk in the kitchen and I say, something is burnt. And then my mother-in-law was saying, I don't know, maybe. And I said, no, my nose is very, very, I don't know, it's very powerful, very sensitive. So I said, no, something is definitely burnt. So apparently the tiffin was arisi upma. Arisi upma is upma made out of rice. It has already been packed and sent to Amma's place. And we got a call from there saying, Amma didn't even touch the upma because she's on very much medication, lot of medication. Already her mouth is bitter because of all the medication. And poor thing, this upma was burnt, literally burnt. And nobody paid attention to it or something. It got packed and sent to Amma's place. When that call came, and when they said that Amma didn't eat that day, I felt miserable. It was like the Devi that feeds us. I couldn't do this for her. So I told my mother-in-law, forget all this cook and everything. I'm cooking for Ambal. Now, till I go from here, I will make all her meals and I will send it to her. Let the cook for us. And I'm going to cook for Ambal. So I took it up and I cooked for her. Starting the next day morning, I made dosa. I soaked the dosa the previous night itself and I made the dosa for her in the morning and packed it for her and sent it. And the lunch was prepared by the cook because she was good at that, and the lunch. But the dinner, again, I came into the scene and made the parathas and the paneer. I know Amma loves paneer. I made a paneer sabji dinner. Everything was ready. Sent again. Next day also, same thing. So the 2 days that was remaining, 3 days that was remaining, I cooked for Ambal. The breakfast and dinner because the cook did not know to cook the tiffin varieties, which I took it up. Lunch, she was okay. But the tiffin in the morning and in the night, I did it. But I know that for sure that was her doing. Burning the upma was not just a random episode. She made that happen so that I get another opportunity to cook for her. And they also sent a word that Amma did not eat so much, but whatever you sent, she ate whatever you had sent, the tiffin, the morning dosa or the evening paratha or the whatever you sent, the paneer sabji, she ate. And she said, I really liked it. And they gave me that message was so fulfilling, so fulfilling. And she did this. I know Amma did this. She burnt that upma so that I could come in the picture and cook for her. And I know this for sure. And I am so blessed and I have no words. It's like, I know this is all her doing so that she can give me the opportunity. That was the last time I cooked for her in her human form. Now I cook for her every day, every time. It's like everything I cook, I give it to her only first. So everything I cook is given to her first. But this was the last time I cooked for her in her human form. And she gave me that opportunity. If she had not given me, if the cook was really good and did everything perfectly well, I would have missed that opportunity. She gave it to me. And for that, I'm always indebted to Ramban. I'm always indebted. And I wanted to share that with all of you. No, I ran out of time. Madhyoli Charanam, Jai Nandalala.